Hello and good evening, everyone. I hope you're really well. Happy, Monday night. Now, this was meant to be live this afternoon at 3:30, but there were some issues with our tech. So we're going live tonight. So huge welcome to you. I hope that you had a great day today. Tonight, I'm sharing with you what you can do to really maximize the 7 terms that we have with our seniors. Hello, Shana. How are you? And look, our seniors, they're only there for 7 terms. And I think when we're in the thick of things, we often take it for granted because those 2 senior years absolutely fly by. Now, I'm not sure about you, but at the time they feel like they're heavy. They feel like you're kind of waiting for the kids to graduate, but it happens in an instant once you're in it. So I'm going to share with you tonight some things that you can do literally tomorrow to help maximize everything you do in your CAFS classroom. Because it's so important to work smarter rather than harder. I think many of us get caught up in trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to do everything in our CAFS class, but really we should be relying on each other. So pop in the chat and let me know if you are a culprit of that, if you are the sort of person who has been reluctant to ask for help. Pop in the chat or in the comments and let me know. Use a hands up emoji and let me know if that's you, because that was me for a really long time. I was doing things the hard way. I was trying to do everything myself without actually asking other people for help, or really going to other people for help and kind of, getting their advice. So that's my job, to help save your time and well-being, to really maximize what you do, to protect your energy. Hey, Matt's one of our CAFS Collective members. But also to really make everything you do more strategic. So the first thing I'd love for you to think about is, hello, Aaron, is for you to think about where you're going with what you're doing with your kids and kind of being that step ahead of your students. And I know that kind of goes without saying. And often when you're really new to teaching something, I know I did this when I first started teaching, I had no idea. And I was like literally one step ahead of the kids. I was like literally maybe a dot point ahead of the kids. And I would really find it hard to be beyond that. So I'd love for you to kind of step beyond what you're doing with the students and think about the big picture. Look ahead and work out where you're going with the kids. Work out where they are and work out that next step for them and that pathway forward in their learning. Because once we look at the bigger picture, we can then start to plan really strategically around our lessons and go, okay, well, I'm teaching these concepts about government organisations or government agencies, community organisations. Where else is that in the syllabus? Where else am I going to then teach that again? How can I be more strategic in Year 11? And inside the CAFS Collective, only 2 weeks ago, we actually did a masterclass on this. So when you join the CAFS Collective, you get access to my knowledge of 19 years teaching CAFS, presenting, professional learning, co-author of 2 textbooks, 16 years HSC marking, 5 of those as the Community and Family Studies HSC Supervisor of Marking. And I show you some of the common mistakes our kids are making and are continuing to make in our course. And the resources I share with you during our masterclasses are going to save your time and your energy. So we do a bit of a deep dive in certain parts of the course and go, okay, well, our kids really struggle with this part of the syllabus. What can I do? What can I actually create to help them gain a better understanding of that, to deepen their knowledge and also to deepen our knowledge? Often when we're teaching, we have a really surface level understanding of things. Hey, Katie. A really surface level. Kate is also one of our CAFS Collective members. A huge good evening to you, Kate. Often when we teach, we often have that really surface kind of level understanding of our course. But inside the CAFS Collective, you get access to resources that are going to help the kids dive deeper, resources that are going to help save your time, your energy, and your well-being to make you work more strategically, to think about the big picture, to think ahead rather than just kind of chasing your tail. You get to kind of see it from that helicopter view and go, okay, well, where does this sit within the grand scheme of the whole Community and Family Studies course? So when I developed the resources from a couple of masterclasses ago around government agencies and the community organisations, I looked at that and I said, This is where it hits again and again in our syllabus. And that's a great thing about the year 11 and 12 syllabus. It was developed like that, we learn stuff in year 11 that we then going to think about again in year 12. So when we look at that part of the syllabus, it's in resource management. It's again in families and communities. It comes up again in parenting and caring. We also hit it in groups and contexts, those government agencies, those community organisations. Hello, Jess. So it's really important for us to think about the bigger picture, not just like, okay, I'm just teaching this right now about year 11 stuff, but to think about where we can actually make more strategic connections to year 12. The same goes with needs. The same goes with well-being. We need to make it really strategic about what we're doing. And I'd love for you to pop in the chat and let me know, comment and let me know if you can think of another area that connects across the course, because I think when we only have those 7 terms with our kids, it's really, really hard to make every lesson meaningful, to make every lesson strategic. But I take the guesswork out of that for you. I actually help you do that inside the CAFS Collective. It's not just one and done professional learning that, we think about HSC strategy or HSC results. It's actually on the ground resources created for you to save your time, your energy, your well-being, but also things that are going to help you work smarter rather than harder all the time. So rather than reinventing the wheel that you spend hours and hours developing a lesson or a series of lessons or an activity for the kids, I do that for you. And because this is my full-time job, I get to create really practical resources, really practical, tangible activities that I only wish and dreamt of in the classroom. I wish I had all these at my disposal when I was actually teaching the classroom for 16 years, but I didn't. I didn't have the time to sit down and create really good strategic lessons. When I had the 126 year 11 kids in the senior school, I was finding it really hard to do everything. It was during COVID, admittedly. I was teaching my own 2 beautiful kids at home, Cass and Lex, and I was literally, I think I sat up every night till about 12 o'clock, and I know that you did too. I know that during COVID, it broke a lot of us, and I'm a statistic because of that. It wasn't just COVID. I loved teaching online. I loved working with my kids. It was, I think, the pressure, not just from COVID, but the pressure I was feeling from my colleagues and the people who were quite toxic that I was surrounded by. So it was never about the kids, but if I had resources, if I had someone to go to, I think things would be very different. But massive silver lining, because I know I get to support you guys, and I feel like I get to make a bigger difference and have an impact all across New South Wales, not just with my CAFS kids, but all across New South Wales. So when you join us inside the CAFS Collective, just tonight I've dropped a whole heap of new resources for our CAFS teachers. I'm talking year 11 assessment tasks, year 11 exams, exam brief, I should say, not the exam itself. But all of our members get access to 10% off all of my courses, resources, the conference, again, to help support you guys. So if you have been checking it out, doors close to this mid-year intake on Thursday. And if your principal needs a bit of convincing, a bit of kind of tweaking, I can help you with that, because we have some emails developed for you. If your principal's like, I'm not sure what this is about, sounds all good, but I can send those to you guys if you're not sure, if your principal let you be part of it. And a lot of our teachers have actually used it as a resource, because you get access to hundreds of resources, hundreds of teaching and learning activities, lesson plans, activities that link to all different parts of the course to make it really strategic, really meaningful with everything that you do. It's not just one and done PL. It's not just a bum on a seat where you kind of come into a course for one day or for one session and you go again. You get constant access to me as your CAFS coach and mentor inside a private Facebook group where we get to share and network and collaborate. And, it's a really, really good community to be part of. So if you're thinking about joining us, as I mentioned, Thursday night, our mid-year intake closes. But again, if you need any info or if you'd like to reach out, please let me know and I can help convince your principal And literally, you'll be absolutely blown away with all of the resources inside our CAFS Collective membership. Thanks so much, guys. I will see you again tomorrow night and Wednesday and Thursday night to round off our rego for this year's mid-year intake. But again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shout out. Thanks so much, team.